mother of the annoyingly cute triplets who lived upon the hill, was the earliest known ancestor of Nigel Uno's family. Much about her remains a mystery. She lived in the 19th century and, in appearance, she resembled a female version of Father. Every year, she baked a special cake for her daughters. The recipe was said to be extraordinary, but she never shared it with anyone outside the family. The recipe remained a closely guarded secret for years, but when her home at the Alamode was destroyed, the original was lost. Numbuh 19th Century was the only known operative to ever get his hands on it. But in the process, he triggered a defense mechanism inside her house that froze him and thousands of other operatives. The recipe was mysteriously imprinted on his chest, but was later erased completely after he was defrosted in the present time. For a moment, we glimpsed the words Grandma's recipe, which suggests it may have originated even further back in their bloodline. In a fan interview with Mr. Warburton, we learned that her daughters were delightfulized, and this could have been her doing. While her true nature is uncertain, one fact is clear. Her family survived the great ice cream explosion at the Alamode, and her influence, as well as her powers, was carried on through generations. Her daughters were known as the annoyingly cute triplets who lived upon the hill. Much like their modern-day counterparts, the delightful children from down the lane, the triplets loved celebrating their birthdays and would never share their delicious mother's cake with anyone. And just as the modern kids next door always fought to make sure everyone got a taste of the delightful children's cakes, the 19th century operatives worked tirelessly for years to get hold of the recipe so that other children could enjoy it too. This came at a devastating cost. As mentioned earlier, 5,000 operatives were frozen in the ice cream explosion. By the time they were unfrozen, most had passed the age of 13 and were immediately decommissioned. Since Grandfather comes from this lineage, one of the sisters eventually gave birth to him. Grandfather was one of the most dangerous villains in Kids Next Door history. He ruled the world with an iron fist, forcing children everywhere to work in his tapioca factories. His powers were immense. He could summon fire, unleash energy blasts, manipulate reality, shapeshift, levitate, and even warp entire treehouses into tapioca factories. Most frightening of all, a single touch from him could infect anyone and transform them into a senior citizombie under his control. His reign of terror was ended when his son, Monty Uno, discovered the Book of K&D, became Numbuh Zero, and led a full-scale rebellion. Using the power of the book, Monty stripped Grandfather of his abilities and memories, reducing him to nothing more than a harmless old man. Monty's victory marked the beginning of the seventh age of the Kids Next Door. As he grew older, he married Mrs. Uno, herself once a great operative. Though she only appears briefly in the series, her presence is important, since her brother fathered Nigel's cousin, as we will see later on. Now let's talk about Benedict. He was the younger son of Grandfather and Monty's little brother. As a child, he was timid, fearful, and obedient to his father's every command. Grandfather favored Monty, humiliating Benedict and treating him as the lesser son. When Monty became the hero Numbuh Zero, Benedict chose a darker path. He donned a dark, fiery silhouette suit and transformed himself into Father, one of the cruelest villains the Kids Next Door ever faced. Father rarely fought the organization directly, preferring to send others to do his bidding. For instance, Kree's plan to launch the moon base into the sun was under his orders. When Father himself appeared, his power was terrifying. His flames could scorch anything, his temper was uncontrollable, and his schemes often threatened the very existence of the K&D. For a long time, Father was considered their greatest enemy, at least until Grandfather's return. Years after Grandfather's decommissioning, Father used the recommissioning module to bring him back, hoping they could destroy the Kids Next Door together. Instead, Grandfather rejected Benedict, calling him a failure, and revealed his true plan: to turn every person on Earth, child, adult, and villain alike, into his loyal army of senior citizombies. In the end, it was Monty again, this time with his son Nigel and Sector V, who stopped Grandfather. By crashing the K&D moonbase into him and trapping him in a decommissioning chamber, they erased his powers and memories once more, leaving him nothing more than a powerless old man. Monty was also the one who revealed hidden truths, such as Father being Nigel's uncle and the delightful children being the missing operatives of Sector Z. At the heart of the Uno family line stands Nigel Uno, known as Number One. The son of the legendary Numbuh Zero, Nigel became the focal point of the entire series. To some, he was a tactical genius. To others, a relentless workaholic. But what's undeniable is that he lived and breathed the fight against adults. Nigel faced his uncle, Father, a couple of times. Their first encounter came in the finale of Season 1, when the delightful children aged Nigel into an adult to destabilize Sector V. Father nearly destroyed the team, but Nigel cleverly noticed his vulnerability to cold. Working as an ice cream man at the time, he used his truck's ice cream to subdue him. As head of Sector V, Nigel pushed himself harder than anyone else. His bravery and leadership eventually earned him the greatest honor of all, being chosen as Earth representative in the Galactic Kids Next Door. To his team, he wasn't just their commander. He was loyal, protective, and willing to sacrifice everything for their safety. Nigel also had a cousin, Numbuh 10. She was the daughter of Mrs. Uno's long-lost brother, the leader of Sector L, and an anchorwoman for the KND News Network. She first appeared in Operation Couch, reporting on the KND Nightly News. Later in Operation Holiday, she joined other sector leaders at the Senior Command Retreat, where it was revealed she and Nigel were cousins. Although the delightful children aren't blood relatives, they can be considered Nigel's adopted cousins. Much like the annoyingly cute triplets before them, they celebrated birthdays with enormous cakes that they refused to share, most of which were baked by Father himself. Time and time again, Sector V tried to stop them. The delightful children were eventually revealed to be the lost members of Sector Z. They were briefly recommissioned in Operation Zero, and we caught small glimpses of their original personalities. In Operation Undercover, Lenny, the boy in the helmet, infiltrated the KND, only for the plan to backfire. His teammates Bruce, David, Alessandra, and Constance each had brief spoken moments. Alessandra thanked Monty for bringing them back.
The members of Sector Z, thank you.
David urged Nigel to hurry as they were turning back.
Thanks, David. I don't know what I'd do without you guys. Well, you might want to figure that out, because we're transforming them!
Bruce reminded the team to use their limited time wisely.
So let's use the time we have. I want to do something good before I have to wear those dorky outfits again.
And Lenny spoke again after they were restored.
But we thought the effects were permanent.
They are. I have no idea how long this transformation will last. You could revert back at any time. I'm sorry.
Constance, recognizable by her glasses and pigtails, is the only one whose individual voice we haven't heard. And that completes the lineage of Numbuh 1, a family history marked by tyrants and heroes who refused to bow to these forces, instead carving their own path.
We came to see you off, dear. They were nice enough to recommission Numbuh 0 and me so we could say goodbye.
All right, guys, listen up. Even if we never see each other again, just promise me one thing, that you'll never grow up. Even if you're 100 years old and don't remember a thing about our times together, you'll still be a kid at heart, okay? So who's with me? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1! Kids Next Door!